about to be reacting to the worst Amazon deaths ever. Not the Amazon forest, you know what I'm saying? Amazon worker, as in delivery driver, package shipper, or whatever. You know, Amazon Prime on your phone and all that. I'm surprised that you can sit here and make a 14-minute video on how people died at Amazon. But let's see what he's talking about.
Dog yard death. On October 24th, 2022,
Niggas, a dog kicking him in his nose,
unnamed
right in his snout. A pit bull chased me. What?
29-year-old Amazon contract driver
Oh
pulled his
man.
delivery van up to a rural home off Highway O near Magnolia Lane in the Wood Heights area outside Excelsior Springs, Missouri. He climbed out, walked through the gate of the fenced yard, and left a package at the front door. He never came back to the van. Hours passed. The vehicle sat idling at the curb, its lights on, engine running, with no sign of the driver. Neighbors noticed the van had not moved for what they described as a couple of hours and called the Ray County Sheriff's Office to request a welfare check. Deputies arrived around 7:30 in the evening, spotted the running van, and shone their flashlights over the fence. There, inside the yard...
See, if let that be me, bro. You think I'm about to jump the fence to drop this off? Man, hell no. If it's locked for a reason. Therefore, I'm gonna leave it at the front, the entrance of the gate.
They found the driver's body on the ground. Two large dogs, an English Mastiff and a German Shepherd, were also in the yard, and both immediately turned aggressive toward the
Yeah, put them motherfuckers down. They gotta die. Put them down. Put them down.
officers.
Take them
As
to the
deputies
pound.
pushed through the gate to reach the man, the dogs charged at them, baring their teeth. One officer shot and wounded the Mastiff before both animals retreated through a bloody dog door into the house. Sheriff Scott Childers arrived, assessed the scene, and determined the dogs remained a threat to responders. He entered the home and fatally shot both animals. Medics then secured the yard
Damn.
and confirmed the driver was dead.
Damn. That's fucked up, man. Again, bro, I would have left that shit right at the gate. I'm not jumping no fence to drop off your package. It is not that
Investigators
important.
documented what the sheriff described as
And I
tremendous
hope his family sued that nigga that on that property. Cause bro, what?
trauma and wounds consistent with canine attack across the victim's body. The medical examiner scheduled an autopsy.
Rest
The
in peace to
homeowners
him,
had been
man.
out of town, leaving the dogs unattended. Amazon released a brief statement describing the man as a member of their Amazon family and calling the incident a tragic event. His name was never publicly released by major outlets. Forklift
So
crush
messed
death.
up.
On
I
September
hope
20,
I hope he sued them for that. Forklift crush death. Jesus. Don't tell me the forklift fell on somebody.
4th, 2017, 59-year-old
It's kinda
Philip Lee
recent, too.
Terry arrived for his Sunday shift as a maintenance worker at Amazon's fulfillment center at 800 Perry Road in Plainfield, Indiana. Terry, a grandfather from Indianapolis, had worked in industrial settings for years and was assigned to perform routine service on a powered industrial truck in the maintenance bay. The job required him to crawl underneath the machine while its heavy forks and lifting assembly, weighing over 1,000 pounds, were elevated above him.
Crawl under the machine.
The proper procedure called for a metal tilt cylinder lock pin to be engaged to hold the assembly in place. That pin, sitting just a few feet away, was not used. The heavy forks and platform dropped suddenly.
What? Cause he didn't put the safety pins in? Man, hell, why I didn't bend
Terry
for?
beneath them. The maintenance bay remained undisturbed for nearly 2 hours before a co-worker found his body and called for help. Plainfield police and fire crews responded around 2:45
That's
in the
so
afternoon,
messed up.
but paramedics could only confirm that Terry had already died. The coroner documented multiple skull fractures and traumatic brain injuries. Indiana OSHA Inspector John Stallone investigated, found missing lockout devices and inadequate training records, and issued 4 serious safety citations with a proposed $28,000 fine against Amazon.
That's it? $28,000? Man, hell no, bro. I need at least 75,000, bro.
Then, Indiana pivoted into a full campaign to attract Amazon's second headquarters. Senior state officials privately coached Amazon
I
on
need
how
a
to frame
hefty amount, bro. You gotta cover funeral and grievance loss and grievance
incident as
payments.
Terry's own
Yes.
misconduct. After Stallone secretly recorded a call in which his supervisor appeared to help Amazon undermine the case, federal OSHA reviewed Indiana's handling and concluded the state should never have cleared the company. Terry's death became a national symbol of regulatory capture. Conveyor pole death. On December 4th, 2013, 57-year-old Ronald Smith reported for his sorting shift at an Amazon facility in Avenel, Woodbridge Township, New Jersey, operated under contract by third-party logistics firm Genco. Smith, a father of 4 and grandfather of 7 from Irvington, had been hired through
and grandfather of 7. Damn, that's 10 kid. No, my bad. 11.
staffing agency called Abacus, one of several temp firms supplying labor to the site during Amazon's peak holiday rush. He was assigned to monitor.
Let me tell you, my grandpa literally, he worked at this. He used to work there. He retired. He used to work at this place. I think it's called Pace. His shirt had got caught like right up in here. And then a Mexican dude came and saved him. Like, it was pulling him in. He was fighting for his life. If it wasn't for that Mexican dude, my grandpa would have had a rough time, boy.
Industrial conveyor and sortation system that kept packages moving through the building at high speed. At some point during his shift, a jam developed in the machinery. Smith leaned in or climbed up to clear it, reaching into a narrow section beneath the moving components. His arm was caught and pulled into the mechanism. The machine dragged his entire body through a gap reported to be less than 6 inches wide and flung him 15 to 18 feet down onto the concrete floor below. Co-workers called 911 immediately. Paramedics rushed Smith to Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in nearby Rahway. Despite emergency treatment, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. The official cause of death was listed as multiple.
He was just being a good law-abiding citizen trying to do his job, bro.
Force impact injuries. OSHA investigated and cited Genco and 4 staffing agencies for failing to conduct basic hazard assessments before sending temp workers into the conveyor area. Amazon, which owned the building, was not among the cited parties. Each company faced fines of roughly $6,000. Smith's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit.
That's it, bro. I feel like they getting back on these families. $6,000?
Alleging dangerous equipment and crushing productivity demands drove the conditions that killed him. Construction burial death. On July 27, 2021, 29-year-old Eric Lara arrived at a
construction
site on the 700 block of Ramona Avenue in the Feltonville neighborhood of North Philadelphia, where a large warehouse shell was being converted into a new Amazon delivery station. Lara worked for Mayfield Site Contractors, the subcontracting firm hired to build a retaining wall at the rear of the site. Just after 10:30 in the morning, he was standing in a narrow trench between a steep cut slope and a 20-foot-high retaining wall when the ground gave way without warning. A massive collapse of soil buried him completely. Co-workers sprinted to the spot and began clawing at the earth with their bare hands, while someone called 911. Philadelphia Fire Department special...
What happened? He was standing on a weak spot and then dirt just fell on him.
Operations units arrived with backhoes and heavy rescue equipment and spent nearly an hour working to reach him. When crews finally uncovered Lara, they rushed him from the Ramona Avenue site to Temple University Hospital. He was pronounced dead just before noon. Officials said his injuries were consistent with crush syndrome from being trapped beneath the collapsed wall and earth.
Damn, the wall fell on him too?
Opened an investigation into both Mayfield and general contractor Gilbane Building Company. In February 2022, the agency proposed $175,480 in fines against Mayfield.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And, okay.
$14,502 against Gilbane for excavation safety failures.
That's what I'm talking about.
No Amazon employees were present on the site that day. Lara died building a facility he would never have worked inside. By the way, if you find this informative, I cover stories like these regularly. Consider subscribing if you'd like to see more. Now back to the video. CFO bike death. On September 18, 2013, 50-year-old Joy Covey
what does riding a bike have to do with Amazon?
Her bicycle along Skyline Boulevard, a 2-lane scenic road winding through the hills above Silicon Valley in San Mateo County, California. Covey was Amazon's first chief financial officer, the executive who helped steer the company through its initial public offering in the 1990s and shaped its early financial architecture.
Really?
She had left Amazon years earlier, but remained one of its most celebrated alumni. That
She got motion.
afternoon, she was on a routine training ride on a route she knew well. At the same time, a 22-year-old man from Fremont drove a Mazda minivan uphill on Skyline Boulevard and began a left turn onto Elk Tree Road, cutting directly across the downhill lane. Covey had no time to brake or swerve. She struck the right side of the turning van and was killed at the scene. She was wearing a helmet. The California Highway Patrol noted the driver cooperated fully with investigators, and no criminal charges followed. The collision was...
that's a genuine accident, bro. Rest in peace to her, but this is such an unfortunate situation, but...
reported as a routine bicycle accident and drew brief attention before fading. Years later, a joint investigation by BuzzFeed News and ProPublica revealed that the van had been carrying Amazon packages as part of the company's growing contractor delivery network.
Oh, no. So she got took out by the same company that she helped build. Come on.
Operated under subcontractor On Track. Insiders told reporters some logistics managers viewed the death as just another traffic accident. Jeff Bezos was seen choking up at her memorial. Covey had helped build the very system whose contractor killed her.
I'm not crying because it is wrong, yawning, but this is truly sad, bro. She didn't get this.
Death became one of the earliest known fatalities in Amazon's outsourced delivery network. Dock truck death. Late on the evening of April 9th, 2025.
Don't tell me they died trying to stock the truck. Come on, man.
4-year-old Leonie Salcedo Chevalier was working a night shift on the loading dock at Amazon's JFK-8 fulfillment center on Gulf Avenue in Bloomfield, Staten Island. JFK-8 had become famous in 2022 as the first Amazon warehouse in the United States to successfully unionize, and its docks handled a relentless flow of trucks around the clock. Salcedo Chevalier, a father of 2 daughters, was employed by a third-party vendor contracted to work the facility. Around 11 in the evening, a 40-year-old box truck driver employed by another contractor began reversing his vehicle toward a dock slot. Salcedo Chevalier was in the path of the reversing truck, in or near the driver's
don't tell me. No.
spot. The truck struck him on the concrete load.
Why is he standing like right in the direct path of the... Come on, bro.
Nearby workers called for help immediately. NYPD and EMS responded, and Salcedo Chevalier was transported to Richmond University Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead.
Don't send me to no university. Shit, send me to a real hospital, bro.
Remained at the scene and cooperated with investigators. No immediate arrests were made as police examined lighting, visibility, and yard procedures. Word of the death spread through JFK-8 through worker phone alerts and group chats, rather than official management announcements. Angry co-workers on the night and following shifts pushed managers into shutting the warehouse temporarily and sending staff home with pay. Amazon emphasized in public statements that both the victim and the driver were employed by subcontractors. Union activists and labor advocates called the death a predictable consequence of chaotic yard design, poor visibility protocols, and Amazon's contractor model. Pallet jack death. On June 1st, 2014...
Not the pallet jack? How you die on a pallet
52-year-old...
This gotta be an electric pallet jack, because ain't no way this the manual pallet jack.
Jody Rhodes reported for her Sunday shift at
Amazon.
Amazon.
Like I said, them motherfuckers fast, though. So I could see how somebody would die. Like, if you give it too much gas, yes, you pull it too hard.
Near Walnut Bottom Road in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Rhodes was a grandmother of 4, mother of 2 sons, and a widow who had already survived breast cancer before taking the warehouse
Congratulations.
job. That afternoon, she was operating a motorized pallet jack, the kind of heavy electric vehicle used to move stacked pallets of goods through warehouse aisles at speed. At some point during her shift, the pallet jack crashed into shelving. Co-workers who spoke to reporters said she was pinned or crushed in the collision. Emergency responders were called.
So she crashed into the...
And Rhodes was transported to Carlisle Regional
Rest in peace to her. I don't think she don't get no settlement money for that, though, because she crashed into the thing. Probably because they said she didn't have the proper training to use this thing.
With severe injuries. Despite treatment, she died at the hospital. Cumberland County Coroner Charlie Hall listed multiple blunt force injuries from the collision as the official cause of death. OSHA opened an investigation into Amazon's Carlisle facility, examining training procedures, equipment protocols, and whether warehouse design contributed to the accident. Worker safety advocates grouped her death with other Amazon warehouse fatalities as evidence that productivity pressure and facility layout increased the danger of operating heavy equipment. Rhodes had survived cancer and the loss of her husband, only to die in an accident that investigators...
Rest in peace, bro. She was a soldier, bro.
Advocates described as preventable. Her obituaries noted that she left behind the 2 sons and 4 grandchildren, who had already watched her fight through the worst of her illness. Heat denial death. On June 2nd, 2023, 59-year-old Roger Kika arrived for his shift at Amazon's MDW2 cross-dock facility at 250 Emerald Drive in Joliet, Illinois. MDW2 is a high-volume freight transfer point
Heat denial. Heat denial death.
where trailers
I
are
don't
unloaded
understand. I don't
and
even know what that is.
to push Amazon shipments deeper into the Midwest network. That afternoon, outdoor temperatures in Joliet hovered around 90 degrees. At some point during his shift, Kika suffered a sudden medical emergency on the warehouse floor. Coworkers called 911, and a caller on the recording described a worker down and raised dehydration as a possible cause. EMS transported Kika from the facility,
See,
and
y'all?
he was pronounced dead
See,
later
y'all?
that day.
RIP to him, but this why y'all drink y'all water, bro. See? Y'all drink y'all water, but RIP to him, bro.
Within days, Amazon told reporters that his death resulted from a non-work-related medical incident and that the building was climate-controlled, with temperatures that did not exceed 77 degrees. The 911 audio, obtained later through a public records request, told a different story. The caller's reference to suspected dehydration directly undercut Amazon's characterization of conditions inside the building. Joliet City Council member Cesar Guerrero and advocates from Warehouse Workers for Justice questioned whether the heat, workload, and the pace of cross-dock operations contributed to Kika's collapse. Workers and advocates documented dock temperatures approaching 90 degrees during later summer heat waves at
90 degrees? Niggas in a sauna. Niggas working in the sauna. Man, the sauna, bro. Come on, bro.
facilities, and criticized Amazon's framing of the death as unrelated to work conditions. Kisa was 59 years old. Cardboard wall death. In the early morning hours of December 27, 2022, 61-year-old Rick Jacobs was finishing an overnight shift at Amazon's DEN4 fulfillment center at 4222 Integration Loop in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Just before the shift change, near the outbound shipping dock, Jacobs collapsed and suffered a cardiac event.
That could have been cause his age, though. But man, that's
Emergency responders
tragic.
arrived and pronounced him dead on the warehouse floor.
That's cause
The
his
coroner
age.
ruled his cause of death as cardiac arrest, with no external
Cardboard
trauma
war death.
involved. What happened next became the focus of widespread outrage. According to multiple workers who came forward anonymously, Amazon managers responded to Jacobs' death by arranging tall cardboard bins or corrugated containers around his body, creating a makeshift barrier while much of the facility continued to operate around him. As the day
Nigga said, get back to work. Imagine going out like, man, hell no, I'm quitting that day. Ain't no
shift
way.
began arriving between 7 and 7:30 in the morning, employees clocked in, received no explanation from management, and began their shifts. Many only learned from colleagues that a dead coworker's body was still inside the cardboard cordon nearby.
What? As the family, I'm suing. Ain't no
One
way.
worker posted online that staff had been told to work around the area, describing management's response as a blatant disregard of human emotions and calling it unconscionable that workers were expected to operate alongside a dead body. After The Guardian and other outlets published workers' accounts, Amazon denied that boxes had been used as a barrier, saying managers had stood around the body to provide privacy.
Bullshit, bro. Bullshit, bro. Bullshit. We just seen it. And I'm sure it's on camera, so come on, bro.
That employees were offered time off. Workers said they were never told directly. The incident became a defining moment in the ongoing debate about how Amazon treats its workforce, raising questions not only about whether deaths at its facilities are preventable, but about what dignity looks like in the minutes and hours after one occurs. Thanks for watching.
That's overly bogus. That's overly bogus. Amazon is a dangerous job indeed. I didn't know it was that dangerous. I didn't know people went out like that. But no, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Honestly, I would never work at Amazon just because the simple fact so many people die. And they obviously don't care about they employees. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I'm going to catch you niggas in the next one. Yes, sir. Oh.